Hey yo! Hey guys, Jujubear here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to an online 2v2 matchup on Total War Rome 2. Now, we got the gang together. Battle of Pela. I'm playing as a Suebi. Xed is playing as the Carthaginians. And our opponents are Boogeyman playing as the Macedonians and the Fluid playing as the Bactrians. I'm just going to put it on play because not much happens in the first couple of minutes. Let's just introduce our armies here. So what I was thinking, I'm really interested in how this Suebi armies can work. So they have the potential of being brutal on the charge. Now these general abilities here, Fast Charge and Pride. Fast Charge will give you first phase speed, second phase speed, charge speed, and charge bonus. So if you pop Fast Charge, and you also pop Pride, which gives you armor piercing damage on the charge, before you get into some enemy units, you can, because it's an area of effect unit, so you pop that and there's an area around your general's unit. You know, it affects like all the units around it. And once everyone is affected by that, they can have some fucking brutal charges into the enemy units. So I was expecting to do that. I was hoping or planning to take advantage of that. And if it works, it can sometimes take, you know, a few minutes for your units to chew through the enemy, no matter what they are. Just because these sword masters and berserkers and Woden's spears are already quite high attack units. With that Fast Charge and Pride turned on, they're even more brutal. So we'll see how that works out. We'll see how, you know, my intentions versus outcome work out. So I've got a Woden's spear on either flank of these three sword masters. Up here I have two more Woden's spears. These guys are fucking brutal. Actually really good attack stats for a spear unit. They're a light spear unit, but they've got 38 attack, 30 weapon damage, bonus versus large, pretty decent charge bonus, and solid armor and health and all that kind of stuff. So very good units, not too expensive. They seem to be the reason that a lot of people are picking the Suebi at the moment. They seem to be a very fashionable faction to play at the moment. So I saw these Macedonian units hiding in the woods. Fortunately, Xed was like, hey, pull your unit out. So I pulled this rider of the hunt out. He's got two. The Macedonian player's got two Thorax swordsmen and a Thorax spear over here. I've got three of these club levy as well. What I was thinking of is with these guys is forming up a fake, kind of like a diversionary front. They're also pretty good at flanking. These club levy. If they don't get charged and you can get them into combat into the back of enemy units, they're actually pretty good. They can do okay. But in any other situation, they're fucking rubbish. Like light melee infantry, they're kind of like a throwaway unit. So I've also got two of these riders of the hunt. And behind my main line of swords and spears, I've got two of these berserker units. And I'll just be holding onto them for kind of like later on in the game and to patch up any gaps that might form in my formation. And I've got two of these Germanic scout riders. I was planning on keeping them for late game, just to deal with enemy skirmishers and stragglers, but we'll see how that turns out. Now, my teammate, Xed, he's got the Carthaginians here. He's got a very narrow formation here that he's brought. We are hiding in the trees at the moment. So he's got two late Libyan Hoplites, two of these mercenary Cretan archers, two Carthaginian Hoplites, two of these Libyan Peltasts, and then up the back here he's got two mercenary noble fighters with a single XP chevron. That must be his killing power. These guys are fucking brutal on the charge, and they can last a long time in any melee situation. And then he's brought up the rear with these Carthaginian Hoplites and a general's bodyguard. Now, his cavalry contingent and he's also got a Libyan infantry over here. His cavalry contingent consists of two Carthaginian cav, and that's it. So you can see that we're pretty much going to lose any. Oh, and he's also got a couple of units over here. Late Libyan Hoplite, Libyan infantry, and a mercenary Cretan archer. So very good of him to kind of send some support just for this flank and hold up any gaps that might occur. So this is a nice little setup that he's got here, able to defend itself quite well. Looking at our cavalry, we're always going to lose in any cavalry engagements. The Bactrian players got a bitch load of cav over here. Baktria being Baktria, you know, they have access to some seriously good cavalry. Mostly in the form of these Bactrian noble horse. These guys are 880 talons, extremely good melee attack, extremely good weapon damage. They still got that bonus versus large. Very good units for the price, and he's brought 3 of them. He's also got a Hellenic Cataphract. We'll see how he goes with that, and the Thoraeus Spear for this little wing section here. His main contingent is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Thorax Swordsmen, so a sword corps. Fairly decent units, probably a little bit overpriced in my opinion. He's got 3 Persian light archers coming out the front, so pretty good units, and he's got a Bactrian Royal Guard, so that can last a very long time in any melee engagement. He's got the Macedonian players got most of his units hidden at this point, but we can see 2 of these Thorax Swordsmen, 2 slingers at the front, another Thorax Swordsman at the back here, and a Royal Peltas. So no doubt, I'm pretty sure he has like a couple of these Thorax Swordsmen hidden in these in this woods, and he's got a couple of other units out here or over here, coming around the flanks. So it looks like he's kind of threatening a little bit with his Thorax Swordsmen. At this point, I could just go ahead and charge downhill into these Thorax Swordsmen and probably wreck them with my spear units, but I'm gonna have to hold back. At this point, it's a bit of a stare off. But the reason I'm bringing these Genetic Scout Riders around this flank is because I did spot a couple of cavalry units around this area. So Macedon were fielding some pretty strong cavalry units, and we'll be able to see in a few seconds what he was fielding or what he was hiding over here. So he's got a Thoraeus Spear here that's making its way around, and he's also got 2 of these absolutely deadly Aspis Companion Cav. Very heavy melee cav, very, very expensive, but also very good. 68 weapon attack, 38 weapon damage, 105 health. All around, just very good units. If you get them into extended melee with any other cav unit, they will wreck it. So he's got 2 of them. That's a lot of money spent on those units there. So I'm going to bring my Germanic Scout Riders up, fire some javelins into the back of those units, and he actually gets a fairly good jav toss into one of my units there and killed a couple of them. So I'm going to split up my Scout Riders here, go either way, and see if I can get a few more javelins into them. Any kills that I can get into these units at all is going to be useful to me. So at the moment we've only managed to kill 1, but I'm going to bring my units around and see if I can flank around and grab them. There hasn't been an engagement just yet in the center. I think we're just sizing each other up for now. So the skirmish function, I know I keep bringing it up, but it's fairly broken. I mean, my units stopped here for some unknown reason, and they got caught by this Aspis Companion Cav. We are getting some kills. We killed about 3 of them so far, but my Germanic Scout Riders should be able to get away from that kind of engagement. It's not. It may be the fact that they ran into some of the woods there, which would have slowed them down slightly. But the Aspis Companion Cav, getting a fair few kills on my units, about 13 kills to be exact, just there. So wasting a lot of units there. I'm down to 51 men on this Germanic Scout Rider, and I'm down to 49 on the other. He's chasing me off with this Thoraeus Spear, and I'm going to run away with the other one. So in the middle, you're about to see me lose the main engagements. I didn't pop Fast Charge, and I did not pop Pride. I only had time to charge my units in. So this is an absolute waste of a general's ability. Kind of unfortunate. I pop Headhunt at the soonest opportunity, but he goes into Shield Wall, so they're going to hold up for quite a long time. I do get a very good charge into his Thoraeus Spears, but he's going to envelope me with this Thorax Swords unit. So all across my line, anyway, I'm going to do horribly. Xed's got into these Thorax Swordsmen in a Hoplite Wall, so he's going to last a long time there. Over on this side, the Bactrian players brought up a whole bunch of fluids, brought up a whole bunch of his cavalry. He hasn't actually issued attack orders just yet, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Bit of a standoff. I've pulled out all of my Scout Riders. Don't want to get them attacked. I'm going to send in my Wodeness Spears on a downhill charge against these Thorax Swordsmen. They're going to get quite a few kills there. And I'm going to bring my Berserkers into play. These guys they have pretty much no armor, like 10 armor. So they're going to get ripped to shreds if my opponent starts firing into them, which I think they probably will at some point. Buddy Man gets his Aspis Companion Cav into the back of these units. Very good move from him just to silence them. I got my Club Levy into this Aspis Companion Cav. They are not going to do very well in that engagement. You can see they're just getting wrecked. But I'm going to bring this Berserker unit over. They look ridiculous when they charge. They like hold their shield up and their sword. They look dumb. And at this point I've got my units just kind of circling around, trying to discourage units like this from coming into the back of all these skirmishes. So he's finishing off my Club Levy. This Aspis Companion Cav only lost a few men. All along the front, I popped my units into either, shield screen, hoplite wall, or shield wall. They are going to last a fairly long time. Like for example, we managed to destroy this Thorax Swordsman here, but now we're in shield wall and we're coming up against the back of this Bactrian Royal Guard unit. What I really should be doing, but I didn't actually notice that they were faced the wrong way, is bring them out of shield wall and just attack. Give them an attack in the rear, and they would, by doing that, they would kind of envelope and fight around the edges of that unit. So the Macedon player bringing his cavalry in, he's fucking wrecking a lot of our units. It looks like Xed's popped Ray's banner, so we've got a heightened morale up the back here. His Aspis Companion Cav taking a lot of damage from these Cretan archers and Livian peltasts. So Xed's doing a fairly good job with his skirmishes there. But these berserkers are going to get fucking torn to shreds by these slingers and thorax swordsmen. So they've got 148 kills, which is all right. They're out of control at this point, but they're not going to make themselves useful. These Club Levy getting charged in the rear by Royal Peltas, so you can tell who's going to win that fight. A good rear charge from these Companion Cav. Only got 10 men left, but they're doing quite well. It looks like these skirmishes are getting really good shots into my Swordmasters there. It's going to take us a very long time, even though this guy's facing the wrong direction. It's going to take us a very long time to get through them. So the Cav engagements are going in the favor of the Bactrian player here. We do have 2 Carthaginian Cav getting into extended melee with the Companion Cav, which is exactly what you want. Only then can we have a hope of pulling them down. But I have been overwhelmed and destroyed all across the line. I've only got a couple of units left on the battlefield, namely a couple of Wodenast spears and some of these Swordmasters. We do have a mercenary noble fighter in the rears, just getting ready to get back into a fight. But it's being shot at by slingers, so he probably makes the right decision and pulls that unit away. So at this point, I noticed that I've got a Germanic Scout Rider over here, and I'm going to bring him back into the fight. But just because there's a lot of Macedonian units left on the field. These Wodenast spears facing the right way. They are in shield screens, so they're going to last quite a long time there. But they're eventually going to get rear charged by some units somewhere. Companion Cavalry bringing down these Carthaginian Cav in the end. My Scout Riders are getting some good shots into these Hellenic Cataphracts. They are super heavy, so they're never going to catch my Scout Riders. Doing a fair bit of damage there. That's a good use of money there. So this Hellenic Cataphract's actually going to get an unopposed charge into this General Bodyguard, so they're going to absolutely shred that unit there. But not before I get a fairly good Javelin toss there into these Hellenic Cataphracts. You can see a lot of these Macedonian units streaming down the hill into those archers and skirmishing units. So my Scout Riders are back on the field. They've only got a little bit of ammo left, so I'm going to go into melee mode and just crush some of these skirmisher units. This is what they're good at. They're very good at getting into enemy skirmishes. They've got a fairly high attack for such a light unit. Germanic Scout Riders. Yeah, so 32 melee attack. No, it's not. That's a missile attack. Weapon damage 34 and 32 melee attack. So not too bad for their price. I'm being chased away by the Royal Peltas General. This is also a unit that doesn't have great protection against missiles. So what you're going to see me do is pull away and start throwing some of the rest of my javelins into this Royal Peltas unit. But I am being fired at by this light archer over here. So I've still got, we managed to destroy that Hellenic cataphract with a combination of different javelins and arrows and stuff. So I've got this one last Germanic scout rider that I'm going to start throwing my javelins into these very expensive companion cav and Aspis companion cav here. So there's the last of my sword masters. Just kind of duking it out. He does get a very good timed flaming shot there. So that was a good shot from this Persian light archer here. Fluid doing a very good job of getting rid of the last of my units. This sword master's down to 79 men. It's only got 47 kills. That's fucking woeful. Man, on a unit like a sword master, up against something crummy like a thorax sword, you'd expect lots of kills, like a lot more than 47. So at the moment, it's in shield wars, holding off 2 or 3 different units at this point. My scout riders are still carving a way through these skirmishes that are left over. Our enemy are kind of content to just let me roam around and destroy these skirmishes at this point. I do have one last scout rider over here that I'm going to bring into play. I think I'm going to end up going for this light archer at this point. So, Thraeus spears against Carthaginian hoplites. I think Etze gets some pretty good shots into the back of those Thraeus spears at some point. And these noble fighters are duking it out against these cavalry units. So it's going to do quite well in extended melee, especially when the cavalry is pulling out like that. But if it gets charged frontally, then they have no hope really. So he needs to get that unit behind this Carthaginian hoplite as soon as possible. So we've still got a couple of units left. My one has spears holding up. I'm about to lose another swordmaster because it's being attacked in the rear. And it's losing decisively. So my scout rider is still doing a very good job. I don't know if you guys saw before, but I got a charge into the back of this Bactrian Royal Guard. It actually wasn't a charge into the back of it because it's facing the wrong way. And I didn't actually see, but, you know, Hoplite Wall bugged out. So I actually ended up just charging a very light cav unit into a very heavy spear infantry frontally when it's braced. So that didn't, needless to say, that didn't work out so well for me. So it looks like he got a very good whistling shot there as well. So Fluid utilizing his archers very well there. It looks like he knows exactly what he's doing. So my swordmaster's routing. I did manage to pop headhunt, so they're going to stay in that fight a little bit longer. Get some more kills, up to 85 at this point. It's not enough. And they actually ended up routing. I thought they were going to be... they were unable to be routed, but looks like they are. So he's going to chase me off with his Royal Palisades General. I'm going to come around the edge and just smash into these light archers. It looks like Exed is forming up with the rest of his units. He's got a couple of these Hoplite units just fending off cavalry. And he's got a core here of noble fighters, 43 left of them. He's got a couple of range capabilities. I don't know how much ammo he's got left in those Cretan archers, but that could be very useful for the end game. So just with these scout riders alone, they got 148 kills. They are evening out the numbers game. These Wodenaz spears are doing a fairly good job at holding up. These Carthaginian hoplites are about to waver. And it looks like they are. They're being attacked in the rear by this Thraeus spear. So in normal engagements, I would probably do quite well with my Suebi units, but the fact that I didn't get the charge, I keep saying it, but the charge is so important with the Suebi army, especially a high attack sword army like this. It's all about the charge, and I didn't get the charge, so fucking lost all across the board. So our opponent's doing a really good job of just mopping up the rest of the troops on the field. Exed's getting it fired at by these slingers that are left over. He's going to pull across his Carthaginian hoplites to help out. I noticed that his archers and range units up the back here are a little bit exposed, so I'm going to pull my scout rider over here to help out if I can. We're going to get a good charge here. Hoplites are always going to lose on a charge to any other sword infantry, so it was Thraeus spear up against Carthaginian hoplite, but then these thorax swords are going to join in the fight, and they're going to absolutely demolish these Carthaginian hoplites. So we got scout riders coming in to help out. These are Libyan infantry taking a frontal charge from the thorax swordsman. In a normal engagement, the Libyan infantry would probably win that one-on-one, but they're being backed up by a whole bunch of different units there. These noble fighters catching one thorax swordsman, they would absolutely shred that unit. Don't know how much ammo the rest of these units have, but again, Bootyman's doing a very good job with his companion cav. He's picking his targets very well, and these noble fighters are the right target for sure. So I saw his Ascus companion cav coming after the Libyan Peltas, so I thought I'd just sacrifice my scout rider to hold them up. I was thinking maybe the Libyan Peltas had a bit of ammo left, but it doesn't look like they do, so they're just coming into combat. And at this point, it's all GG. All across the board, we got a mass waiver on our hands. And Bootyman and Fluid steal the show. My club Levy not doing so well. Even my Berserkers not paying for themselves. Germanic Scout Riders doing okay, mostly skirmisher kills there, so nothing to kind of write home about. My Swordmasters not paying for themselves at all, very expensive units. They should be doing better than that. My Wodeness Spears doing okay, but across the line they should be doing better than that. Hellenic, the cavalry contingent of this Bactrian army not doing so well. The Bactrian Royal Guard did a pretty good job of holding up my units, even though it was facing them backwards. But the real MVP of the match was Bootyman, getting a massive amount of kills with his cavalry. 186 on his Aspis, 157 there, and his companion cav, he getting 129 kills. Most of those were on noble infantry, so really good job there. And his Royal Peltas getting 172 kills. So thanks guys for the match. XZ doing pretty well with one of his noble fighters, but the other one was kind of wasted with these cavalry charges. He actually had quite a few of these Hoplite units, but a lot of them were kind of pulled down before they had much of an effect on the battle. Thanks for the match, guys. We'll probably be doing a whole bunch more. We're going to be jumping into some Shogun 2, so keep an eye out for that one. Very excited to be getting back into that game. Haven't played it for a while, and excited to see how the multiplayer plays out for that. So watch this space. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.